If you're wondering why I've gained like 10 pounds in between the last two videos, I've been on holiday for a week in between. It's the whole thing. Carry on. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this, the Pulse 24 from Vandy Vape, and Tony B. Tony B designed this with Vandy Vape. What is it? It's a 24mm wide dual coil bottom feeding RDA. Now, there was a Pulse 22, it was a 22mm RDA, and it was predominantly designed for single coils. This one, however, is now 24mm wide and is designed predominantly for dual coils. Big old airflow, it's now got a postless deck system. It's got some other nice little tweaks as well, which I think are making a big difference on this one, and I do genuinely believe that this is a big improvement on the V1 or the 22mm version. So let's dive down low, have a really good look at it. If you specifically want to see a build video on this, check out X1 Vape Reviews. Put that into your YouTube search. X1 Vape Reviews done a really nice build video on this just the other day. It's a really good video, shows you exactly how to build it. I'll show you what I've got in here, I'll show you our wicket and all that stuff, but if you want to see a nice build video, check that out, link in the description. So let's go down low. Let's go down low and take a peek at this, then we'll come back up top for pros and cons. I've still got a couple of tiny gripes that I do want to cover, but pros and cons when we come back up. Let's go. Okay guys, here we are down low with the Vandy Vape Pulse 24 from Tony B. Designed by Tony B, made by Vandy Vape. This is the Pulse 24 bottom feeding RDA. Packaging, as you would expect from Vandy Vape, on point. Looks like they've got all the correct warnings and all that stuff on it. Inside the packaging you get your RDA, which comes with like a Ultim style drip tip, goon size Ultim style. It comes with a black one as well, which is cool, very handy. I like that it comes with both, that is good. I don't like these ones that just come with an Ultim one, because it doesn't match that much stuff, the Ultim, does it? So I think that's cool, that is good. Very good indeed. It comes with a nice little Allen key affair. There's your normal 510 pin if you don't want to squonk with this, but it's predominantly designed for squonking, but I suppose it would be a pretty solid dripper anyway. Also you get some screws, O-rings, and in here, look at this, you get your Goon to 510 drip tip adapter, which is excellent. Excellent indeed. So all your drip tip bases are covered, which is excellent. Excellent indeed. This is your RDA, so you've got your two holes here, you've got your drip tip on there, and obviously your adjustable airflow like this. You can turn it like that to adjust it, that's down to half of a hole. Obviously if you do that, it's only coming down one of the tubes, so bear that in mind, depending on how you're building, how you vape and all that. So that's all good. Squonk pin there, as you can see. There's the base, if you're interested in what that looks like. Mine does say sample. I don't know if they've made any tweaks or alterations for the production version. Always tricky for reviewers knowing what the situation is with that. But if we screw it onto a mod. Okay, so putting the RDA to one side for a second, we have our RDA here. And if we split this, you can see it's a split barrel design, so that's how your adjustable airflow works on there. Also means when you're using it, if you do want to take a peek at your coils or whatever, you can just lift this off and everything else stays nicely in place while you do that. So you've got your little domed barrel. One of the things they've done, I think I'm right in saying this, I haven't double checked, the whole thing feels a little bit shorter. You feel a bit closer to the coils, which is a very nice touch, and it seems to be adding to the flavour, because the flavour is excellent on this one. So yeah, nicely beveled in top cap section there. Here you've got another slight tweak that they've made. The tubes are a lot shorter on this one. They still sort of point down at an angle, as you can see, but they are much shorter, so there's far less chance of running into any problems Also means you can get those big dual coils in there, and yeah, a good job on that. It feels smoother and swooshier. Yeah, I think that's really helped those shorter tubes. Nice move by them to do that. If we pull in our deck, you will see. I'll try and show you this very clearly. Just so everybody knows the score on this, there are some little grooves there. Hope you can see that. Some little grooves there, and what you have to do is you have to match up those grooves with these notches. See these notches on the top? Line those up neatly, and when it slots in perfectly, and that's how you know your coils are going to be up against your airflow in perfect fashion. It also means you can't spin the deck, causing a short or any problems like that. So that's the point of those tabs. Looking around this barrel here, nothing else to see really. The main improvement they've done there is shorten those tubes, which I think makes a big difference. This is the actual thing. This is the thing. This is the deck here. You've got your positives and negatives. You can now see it is a postless design, and you adjust it using these Phillips head screws here. And yeah, 2 O-rings holding that on nicely down there. The idea being that the 2 O-rings on the base hold tighter than the top cap section, which only has one O-ring on that top cap section there. So the top cap comes off easier than the bottom bit of the top cap. Okay, so that's the idea there. So squonking wise, I was slightly worried about how it would squonk, because the idea is when you press your bottle, the juice comes out into these grooves. I'll show you again in a second, but it comes out into the grooves, and I was worried that it would only juice up this bit here, and then it would have to take its time to get to the coil. Not the case, actually. It squonks really nice. If I give it a nice big push, you can see juice does filter out of there, and look how well that has juiced back up. Really happy with how it squonks. I was slightly concerned at first glance, but in reality it's great. It squonks up really nice. It reduces your coils in just one nice neat press of the bottle, which is great. Pulling it out, let's just grab me some tweezers. Let's pull out the cotton so you can have a proper look at this deck. And you can see now clearly how it works. So you drop your coils in here. You're looking at around 1 centimetre, I think, around 1 centimetre, 10 mil, something like that on leg length. Trial and error will be your friend on that one. Just keep having a bash. But you stick your coils in the holes, tighten it up using the screws. Tighten up using those screws underneath, and you are good to go. Works perfectly, and the whole postless thing I think suits the whole squonking RDA thing very nicely indeed. So these are your juice wells here. You drop your cotton into those, and when you squonk, juice pours out. Try and give you a look at that now. There, I hope you can see that. It fills up those wells really nicely, keeps it juiced up really well, squonks really well, as we've said. These are the coils I've got in, just some sort of classic aliens, I don't know, but they are working tremendously and vaping very well. Yeah, so that's how it looks. Putting it back together, in terms of wicking, like I say, you just put it straight through and you just drop it in there, just like I had it shown before. Putting it back together, you remember just to line up those notches. You're not always going to get it bang on each time, but a little bit of turning and you soon click it in, no bother at all. Then you put your top cap on, lining up with how you want your airflow, and there you go. Vaping away a treat. Obviously, ideally with cotton in, but you can do it without if you wish. You can't put cotton in, but there you go. That is the Pulse 24 from Vandy Vape. I'll give you a nice look round, but there it is. The Pulse 24 from Vandy Vape. Let's go up top for some pros and cons. Okay guys, that was the Pulse 24 down low. Really nice thing, and I really like those little tweaks and improvements that they have made on this. The V2, I've said this for years on this channel, the V2 is always better than the V1. Always wait for the V2, always look out for the V2, because you know they're going to nail it. They're going to fix those improvements, they're going to make those changes, and it's always going to be a big step up. It's always going to be a nice thing to see. So the 24 is, in my opinion, it is improved. I think dual coil works so much better for this style of deck, for this style of airflow. I really think it helps the flavour. Don't know the science at all, but I really feel like it helps the flavour having those shorter tubes. For some reason, it just does. And the flavour I'm getting is tremendous. It vapes a bit like this. And that is just on a very simple 18650 mech squonker. Seems to be the way of it these days. So, we recently reviewed the D-Pro, which some people like as dual coil, some people like as single coil. My thing with this was, for me it was single coil simply because not enough airflow. I think it builds really nice single coil as well, but mainly because of the airflow. This one has 2 holes on each side, and for me, with both holes open, it is a really, really nice vape. Really, really nice amount of airflow, smooth, swooshy. I think the shorter tubes help with the noise and with the vape quality, and I think it's vaping really, really nice. A couple of tiny insignificant negatives that I just want to put out there. The O-ring tensions on the base versus the top cap, because it's got this split cap design thing. The idea being, if you do need to take your top cap off, you pull there. Mine comes off at the base much easier than it does at the top. No big deal for me at all, but it is a thing. Maybe they could look at the O-ring tensions on the base versus the thing. I don't know. It suddenly started doing it. To be honest, it was working the other way really well, and now it's not. So maybe I just need to fiddle with it. I don't know. The other thing is these tabs. Getting them lined up. How do I put this? I think these tabs are too small. These tabs are too small. I totally get it. It's a very nice safety precaution. Oh, excuse me. It's a very nice safety precaution indeed that they have these tabs. It's short. It stops you shorting the tube on the coil, and it's a good thing. But one, you can kind of vape it without it being on the tabs. It won't look right. It won't be sat flush, but you can sort of vape it like that. It's not super obvious that you're not tabbed in, and I just worry about that as a thing. I just think it's not a big at all. It's not a big at all. But I just think, could they just make the tab bigger and the groove bigger, and it just clonk down, a nice big groove, and it'd be totally obvious then if you didn't have it right. It literally would be sat like a centimetre off the base if you didn't have the thing. So maybe they could just put bigger grooves in there. It's a tiny bit fiddly. I know it's got those notches on the inside, but it's just a tiny bit fiddly getting it on the tabs, and I just worry that people will vape it not realising they're not fully down on the tabs. I don't know. It's a tiny thing. But I'll put it out there. I'll put it out there. Other than that, though, love it. Goon tips fit nicely. Vape's tremendous. Easy to build. I really like these postless style decks. I think they lend themselves to squonking really, really well. When I first got this, I was slightly worried about the way it squonks, the way the juice comes out of the sides. I was worried that it was only going to juice up the wicks and you'd still have to wait for it to sort of feed up to the coil. Not at all, not a problem at all. It comes out really nice, really quick, and it actually comes out beyond the cup, and it sort of fills into the deck really nicely, and it squonks absolutely fine. So tremendous vape. Really nice. You know it's Vandy Vape, so you know the price is going to be on point. It's going to be very affordable, budget friendly. I've seen this in black stainless steel, like a brass colour, and I think I saw like a rainbow one. I don't know, that might be a knockoff one, I'm not sure, but I think I saw a rainbow one as well. So check out the various colour options. Really good. Another good affordable squonking RDA. The market is hotting up for these squonking RDAs. Everyone's going a bit squonk crazy. So, you know, there's going to be more squonk arties to come, but there is now a nice selection of very solid squonk RDAs. This is definitely one of them. If you're a dual coil squonker, then check out this RDA. I think it's really, really good. Yeah, tremendous. really much improved. Very happy with the tweaks and changes that they've made to this. I think it suits it, dual coil suits it down to the ground. Really enjoying using it. I think it's very good. A big thumbs up from me. I've been Vick, and I'll see you again soon.